Hello, my name is Ricky, and I like to paint. And one question that comes up a lot when I make things for people, it comes down to framing. How do I frame my picture? Where do I get my frame? How do I size my frame? As well as I see many mistakes as people leaving the margins in view, amongst other things. That's why I just started doing the framing process myself when I make something for somebody. Now, I know for a lot of people, framing is a very aggravating process, so I thought it would be nice for me to make you a quick instructional how-to tutorial on how to frame your picture, whether it be a family photo, something you made, or maybe something you bought, or even something you've had a long time, like maybe an old poster or something, that you would just like to be a little more protected. So, without any more delay, let's get to the framing. So, for framing, what do you need? Well, first you need a picture. Today we will be framing this picture I just finished for a friend. Now, I'm doing a bit of a dynamic margin with this, and you'll see what I mean in a minute, but I will still show you how to make the simple square outline, and I might fail. We're just going to go with it and see what happens, see what I like, and redo it. So, of course, you also need some paper of whatever desired color you want. A few sheets, again, in case I mess it up. A scalpel or some other sharp knife. I also recommend having one of these silicone cutting mats or some other type of cutting surface so you don't damage your table. And of course, the most important thing, the frame. I get these off Amazon, and I buy them to the exact size of the pictures I make. You can, for pretty cheap, get some really good ones that aren't glass. They're not going to break easy. Your stuff's going to ship easier, and it's pretty cheap. So as you can see, I have done absolutely nothing with this. So you want to start out by opening it. It has this peel on it, by the way, and sometimes, you know, you can ship them with that still on there and leave it to the person to peel off. So let's make a little cut. Hanging instructions. Let's take a moment to talk about the margin. So as you can see, this photo is much like a photo you might want to put in here. Maybe you've seen something, maybe you went somewhere, maybe there's someone you want to cut out of the family photo. That's what this little border here is for. Now, a lot of times they come with one, but what happens like this, when I take this out, it is not going to match up to my picture at all. By the way, whenever you get one of these, you want to make sure to keep everything, because you can use this for spacers later, and it helps your pictures not move around as much. So let's take a look. If I put mine in here now, and again, this is sized exactly for it, I get a lot cut off. So obviously I need my margins to be different. And again, I'm going to hold on to this. I'm just going to go ahead and peel off this plastic now. I get these plastic fronted ones, and I've found that generally you don't have to worry about them scratching during shipping if you pack them really well. But it's still, again, if it's something you're worried about, you can always leave the film on and leave it to the person to peel off. Personally, though, they have to take it apart. Although the way I sign mine on the back, I do it so they can take the back off and see the signature, see whatever note they want. Any authentication marks without having to touch the picture. Again, my example. See, I put my signature there, the number of the piece and the series, and then a small message to the person. Whenever I do one of these for charity, of course, I always put what charity is for and what it's sold for. Yeah, it's something I just started doing with this. So once you get your picture and your frame in there, put it to the side. You don't need it now. That's where you get your silicone cutting mat. Now you can take your paper, in this case black, and if you don't know the exact size of your margins, if that's hard, you can always go up to the side here, get a pencil, and do this to the back side of it, the side that's going to be laying on the picture, and you can just make some little marks. And you do it that way, you do it left to right, and then you go to the bottom, and you do it again. Should have said this in the intro, you're gonna need a ruler. But then you can use your little marks, which are hard to see here, to line up your ruler. Then you outline your piece and you cut out the center. Now for me, I made this picture. I know the exact measurements, and my margins happen to be as thick in as one of my rulers. So I'm going to draw that out for you real quick, and then I am going to cut it out. My lines aren't exactly straight. Now you might be thinking right now, this seems rather simple, and it is, but a lot of people really have trouble, especially like I said, with putting the proper thing to cover the margins of pictures. You'll see big empty spots left. So now I have my outline. You can kind of see it there in the light. I'm going to take the scalpel and just cut out the middle section. Got my light kind of on the side so I can see the marks. I just follow my line. Now we got the long boy. You just want to be steady and consistent. I actually have my elbow down on the table and I'm dragging my whole arm. So I just get the straightest, longest line possible. Frames are also nice. Like, let's say you have a nice family photo. You could have the family photo in the middle, and then on the frame you can put like people's names. You could put decorations. If you have a nice trip, like let's say you take a trip camping with the family, you could collect leaves. You can preserve the leaves on the frame and then have the photo in the middle, and it adds a nice layer of realism to your beloved memories. And just like that, boop, it pops out. So that went pretty well. So now let me show you what this looks like in our frame. So you just take your frame, you want to take this and you want to lay the outside down on the glass. Then you take your picture and ploop it in there. And already it looks a lot better. To me, it does. But there's one more thing I wanted out of this picture. And I wanted the horn on my onyx to pop out a bit more. So I'm going to show you how to make these dynamic frames. Now there's a lot of times you might want to do something like this, like maybe there's a bird in the picture. And like you want to make it look like he's popping out of the frame. This is how you do this. I might mess this up, and if I do, I'm going to leave it in the video anyways. So you get your frame aligned. And you just get a nice piece of parchment paper, put it over it. Again, take a pencil, just do some outlines, do some markings, so you know where to match it up. Really didn't need the frame on it for that part. Once you do that, you match it back up there. You outline whatever it is you want coming out of the frame. Then you take your frame. Make sure you get your back side. Line up your edges. And you just slowly peel it up and try to copy the outline. On the paper. A little hard, what with it being black, but you don't have to use black. I just used black. And I'm kind of regretting it in this moment. So then you just frame it out. Now this can be very frustrating, and if this doesn't turn out, no, it doesn't turn out. You can see I'm also using a different type of scalpel. These with the finer point are a lot better for this. I just kind of grabbed one I had in my pin box. This one was a lot better. Paper also becomes more fragile in this state, so you really have to anchor it down while you do it. Okay. Now we got that out. Let's find our picture. I do not think this is going to be big enough. Actually, it's pretty close. Pretty close. I want to change it a little bit though. Ooh, I almost ripped the whole thing, didn't I? So I'm just going to come up. And I'm going to go down the back side. Just create a little more room. I'm really glad that this is turning out just about how I want it the first time. So you just pick up, I cut out that little excess bit there. Go around to what is your face, especially because that's where you're going to have. There we go. Yeah. That's why I did a little sky up there. I think it's kind of funny, but it works. And again, like if you have, like I have one I did before with a bird, and I kind of want to go back and do this, where the ho-oh, his wing is coming up over it. And that's something I might do at a later date. But that's definitely getting the effect I want. So once you have your frame however you want it, or you have your border, you go, put all your stuff together. Again, I keep everything. I put it back in there as spacers and whatnot. It does help fill it out. You always want to remember where your top is when you lay it down, or where you put on your hangers. Otherwise, you're just going to have to redo this part, and these things can be kind of annoying to line up sometimes. Okay. There. They should all go straight once it's lined up good. And then, voila. Oh wow, I really like how that turned out. Well, look at that. We got our picture all framed and ready to send off. Now, hopefully this video has helped you a bit and will help you if you need to frame something at home. And hopefully it has inspired you a bit, maybe a way you can make some of your memories a little more dynamic than they were before, or make them look a little more professional. It's one minor detail where you spend just a few dollars and it greatly improves the look and quality of your work. And of course, like anything, the key is patience and not being afraid to retry things when you mess them up. Because remember, you're always going to be way more capable when you retry something than when you did it the first time. Well, that's all I got for you today. Until next time, stay safe, and I hope to see you back here again.